Hello, my name is Cooper Kidd, and this is my user experience analysis of the University of Maryland COVID-19 website. So we are going to start out with a broad overview of what we will be going over here today. First, we will start with some background on COVID-19 and the University of Maryland's response, as well as a website they made in response to the pandemic. Then, we will go into what the goals of the user experience analysis/study were, as well as the ways I conducted the study, which is known as the methodology. Finally, we will look at the study participants, or who participated in the study, as well as what we learned from the study and what can be done to make this website better. So let's start out with what it means for a website to be usable. So if a website wants to be usable, it needs to be available and accessible, clear, intuitive or easy to learn, credible, and relevant. Usability can be described as the capacity of a system to provide a condition for a user to perform the test safely, effectively, and efficiently while enjoying their experience. So, because usability is a measure of how well a specific user in a specific context can use a product, in this case, the University of Maryland COVID-19 website, to achieve a defined goal effectively, efficiently, and satisfactorily, we need to figure out who the users are, what the users need or want from the website, what users like and dislike about the current website, and how the website can be improved. If we make a website where we don't know who the users are, or what they need or want from the website, or what they dislike about the current website, we're not designing the website with users in mind. We're designing the website with our own presumptions about the users in mind, which does not equal usability. So knowing what makes a website usable is only part of the process. What we also need to focus on is user-centered design, which in broad terms is an iterative design process in which designers focus on the users and their needs in each phase of the design process. In user-centered design teams involve users throughout the design process via a variety of research and design techniques to create highly usable and accessible products for them. So in lay terms, it just means that we're including users in the design process. If we don't know who the users are, we can't include them. So that's why this process is so important. And because of this, we do something that's known as the user experience process. We seek to understand the users and what people are using the website for. We do research to figure this out. We analyze what the users want and need. We design a website with them in mind. We launch the website, we test it, and we do the whole process again. Doing this process helps us ensure that the website is effective, user-friendly, and that it fits the needs of the users. In this case, the folks who are using the UMD COVID-19 website. And in that vein, today we're going to be looking at the way that I crafted the user experience process for the University of Maryland COVID-19 website in greater detail. So what we do is this whole process. We do user research, which includes user testing, surveys, and interviews, which we will get into a little bit later in this presentation. And then we make recommendations for website improvement. So again, we're focusing on the University of Maryland COVID-19 website, which can be accessed at the link below this image. I know that you probably can't see this image in its entirety, so it may be helpful for you to go to this link directly. With all that background in mind, let's start looking at the goals of the study. So I have 3 goals for the study. The first one is to find out how University of Maryland faculty, staff, and students get the most up-to-date information on COVID-19 as related to the University of Maryland, and what they feel works out well, where they think there are issues, and how they think things could be improved. The second goal is to identify what users of the University of Maryland COVID-19 webpage want and think about the current University of Maryland COVID-19 webpage. And the third goal is to identify any usability problems with the University of Maryland COVID-19 site, collect qualitative and quantitative data, and determine participant satisfaction with the University of Maryland's COVID-19 website. So now that we know the goals of the study, I'm going to look at the methodology or the way that this study was carried out. So I did 7 usability tests, a user survey with 10 people, 7 user interviews, and 1 diary study. So at this point you may be wondering what all of this means, and I would be too. So what is the usability test? A usability test is a session in which a researcher asks a participant to perform a particular task with the user interface, in this case, the COVID website. And when the participant completes each task, the researcher then observes the participant's behavior and listens for feedback. So for this study, the usability test was designed to find usability problems with the University of Maryland COVID-19 website. So essentially to find out what worked well for people, where people ran into snags, and so on. I also collected data about the website and determined the level of satisfaction that users had with the website itself. So another methodology that I use is also known as the UX survey, or in this case, the user survey. So a survey in this sense is a set of questions which is sent to a targeted group of users to ask about their attitudes and preferences. Surveys are a quick, easy, and inexpensive way to obtain information about the data, in this case, the University of Maryland COVID-19 website. And in this instance, the goal of the user survey was to identify what users of the University of Maryland COVID-19 webpage want from the University of Maryland COVID-19 webpage and determine what they think about the current website. For this study, I also did user interviews with 7 people. So a user interview is one where a researcher asks a user questions about a topic of interest, in this case the COVID website, with the goal of learning about the topic. User surveys are unlike focus groups that ask multiple people to be in the same room at once. A user interview is a one-on-one session, so it tends to be quicker and easier and a way to collect user data. For this study, the user interview is to figure out how people use the University of Maryland COVID-19 website and what they think is good, bad, and neutral about the site. And the final methodology that I used was a diary study. A diary study is a research method where you collect qualitative data about users' behaviors, activities, and experiences over time. For this project, what I did is I had one user use the University of Maryland COVID-19 website on day 1, and then find different university websites on COVID-19 and record their experience using each one with a variety of tasks. So in this case, the diary study was to simply compare different universities' COVID-19 websites and see how the University of Maryland's COVID-19 website compares to these other websites. So now let's take a look at who participated in the study, which is also known as the study participants. So I had a wide range of study participants. There were undergraduate students, graduate students who were also graduate assistants, prospective students, staff, and parents of students, particularly parents of undergraduate students. The study participants spanned a wide variety of genders, male, female, and non-binary, and there was a large age range, 17 to 60 plus years old. And because of this wide range of study participants that I was able to find, it means that my findings are more significant because I covered most of the user categories. So now that we've looked at a lot of the background of user-centered design, user experience research, as well as what this project is meant to entail, including the study goals, methodology, and who the study participants were, let's start to delve into some of the findings or what this research was able to showcase about the University of Maryland COVID-19 website as it currently stands. So to start off with, many people feel that the website is a centralized location for all information. And that's great. People feel that the website gives them all the information they need. But in other news, the website is disorganized. There's too much information. And the website also seems to highlight a lot of important information, such as campus protocol for post-spring break, which can be helpful. However, if everything is bolded or highlighted or in red, it's really hard for folks to know what to pay attention to. Another key finding is that many people don't actually use the University of Maryland COVID-19 homepage. So parents of students and staff check the website, but not many students themselves. Instead, students go directly to the return.umd.edu section, which they go to from university emails or from typing the link directly in their search bar, which actually correlates to how people learned about the website, which is disproportionately that people learned about the website from emails. This finding was actually surprising to me because I assumed that more people would use the University of Maryland COVID-19 homepage. However, people just don't. And part of the reason that people may not use the UMD COVID-19 homepage is because of this general sentiment. It could be because of this, but it may not be. But the general sentiment is this, is that if the UMD COVID-19 homepage were more helpful, that I might use the website more often. So in order for folks to feel like they want to use the UMD COVID-19 homepage, a way needs to be found to make the website more helpful. It should also be noted that most users like and utilize the return.umd.edu section of the website. And actually, if you look at the screenshot below, this webpage is actually a lot less cluttered than the main UMD COVID-19 homepage. However, many people do wish that there was an option to return to the UMD COVID-19 homepage, since they currently have to actually go back in their search bar and search for it. However, there's one key demographic who did not like this section, and it was parents. Parents could not figure out that they could not log in because they were not considered a faculty, staff, affiliate, or student. Many parents may think they're an affiliate if they are paying their undergraduate student's tuition. However, in terms of this webpage, they are not considered an affiliate, but there's no clear distinction that they are not an affiliate or that this webpage is only for folks who need to actually go on the campus. Another enlightening finding is that staff find the website to not be credible and have multiple missions. This is an actual quote from a staff member. It appears that the website is a mix between actual useful information and a public relations attempt to make the university appear to be knowledgeable about COVID-19 and that they are taking COVID-19 seriously. If you have staff members who don't think that your website is credible and that the website has multiple missions, these folks are probably not going to take the university seriously when it comes to COVID-19, which is actually quite problematic. Another key finding is that the website is non-intuitive. People find it hard to navigate, tricky, and time-consuming to find information. For folks who are time-strapped or maybe overusing their computer all day, having a non-intuitive website is not great because people are eventually just going to give up trying to find the information. And if you have folks who give up trying to find certain information, this could be hugely problematic. You could have parents who do not know the status of COVID-19 on the campus and be scared of their students' safety, staying up all night. This could mean that you have staff members who don't know when it's safe to return to campus or when they have to return to campus. This could mean that you have current students who are not filling out proper paperwork because they simply could not find it. And at a time when information is so important, knowing how to log your symptoms, how to report that you are positive for COVID-19, this could lead to a huge public health crisis where you have a positive person coming to campus because they simply could not figure out how to log their symptoms online. So because of this, the website needs to be made more user-friendly and intuitive. Another finding is that it's hard to find actual COVID-19 related statistics on the website. So other universities actually had dashboards on their webpage, their front webpage that is, but the University of Maryland doesn't. So it's hard for folks to actually find their information. There's a section labeled dashboard on the website, but many people actually stated that the title is too vague to actually be helpful, and it's unclear what a dashboard should mean or is. And the last finding that I'll highlight is that folks felt like the front page was like two web pages merged together. So there's this feeling of too many people stirring the pot. So if you look at the two images on the bottom of the page, the first and second are both taken from the University of Maryland COVID-19 homepage. And folks feel like it should either start at the one on the left or the one on the right, and that both pages should not be together because it actually makes the website feel disjointed. So now that we've seen the key findings I've come up with, it's important to now look at the recommendations moving forward. So these recommendations are my own, and they're my own recommendations for how to improve the website going forward. My first recommendation is to add a filter so that when someone enters the website, it asks if they are faculty, student, staff, undergrad, etc. And then it changes the information displayed to the user to be relevant to them. So this would actually help folks be able to better find information that's pertinent to them. So if, for example, a faculty member entered the website, it would determine which information to show them, such as which courses are being delivered in person or remotely. And this would mean that folks wouldn't have to sift through a ton of information that's not important or relevant to them. My second recommendation is to rename the dashboard to something that indicates that it showcases case counts, positivity rates, etc. Dashboard is too vague. People don't know exactly what that means. So unless they're actually searching through the website and clicking every single thing, they're unlikely to find that. My other recommendation is to move the dashboard to the homepage. Now, other universities in the area actually do this. George Washington University has a dashboard on their homepage, which I actually think is really useful since it allows people to see exactly what is happening in real time on the campus. And this is information that people want to find easily, and it's not information that people want to spend a ton of time looking for. My next recommendation is to make it clear who has access to log into different sections of the website. So this would avoid parental confusion. Parents can't log into certain sections of this website, and for good reason. But they don't know that, so adding a short sentence like login is for students, faculty, and staff may reduce their confusion and frustration. In addition, the website should really focus on accuracy and data and make it easy for the different stakeholders to find the information that they need. So there should be less flowery language and trying to make people feel safe, and more emphasis on actual information. Since that is what people really want. They want actual information, not some vague statement that the campus is going to be okay. The next recommendation is to use highlighting features such as red text and yellow boxes sparingly, so that only really important information is highlighted. Currently, a lot of information is in red. A lot of information is highlighted, but that makes it unclear what is actually important. If everything is in red, if everything is highlighted, nothing truly stands out. So if highlighting features are actually used to showcase important information, this would actually help folks find information more quickly. In addition, it's also important as a general practice to make it clear what text and boxes are clickable or lead you to another page. It's also important to underline links and change coloring of boxes so that it's clear that they're clickable boxes. Right now where the vaccine updates and COVID-19 dashboard and return.umd.edu portal are, it's unclear that these are actual links, and the white on white is actually not great for your eyes. And just a small thing, these boxes are not symmetrical. They're not the same size. The COVID-19 dashboard box is much longer than the vaccine update box, so it's important that they're all formatted the same and look clickable. Currently, it's a white background with a thin red line around it, and it doesn't actually look like something that is a button or something that you would click on. Something else that folks pointed out and that was highlighted in the findings is that we should choose where to start the web page, either with the text or with the For Maryland logo. It currently feels like there's two disjointed websites happening on one page, which makes the website feel disorganized. And we should also widen the website to the edge of the page and get rid of unnecessary sides so the website looks something like either of these two options. This would just make the website cleaner and like it's an actual factual, credible source for UMD COVID-19 information or information related to COVID-19 at the University of Maryland. So something that I've discussed before, but I think that's so important that it should be reiterated again, is that this information should be distilled so that only the most important information lives on this page. This would make the website feel less cluttered and would encourage more people to read the page. Something else to note is that large walls of text should be broken up with pictures or lines, because it just makes the website easier to look at visually. If you want a campus community that is updated and informed about all the nuances around COVID-19, the website trying to do that needs to be clear. And with that, I'll conclude my user experience analysis of the University of Maryland COVID-19 website. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out to me at clkidd@umd.edu. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.